How to make your first beat in Beat DJ in 5 minutes. Let's get into it. Let me just shrink myself. So the first thing you'll want to do is go to our website, sonyair.net, and go to the Beat DJ page. I'll also have a link in the description. And just click the download button here. You'll see it downloading up here on the right. And if it gives you any trouble here, just make sure you click to make sure it completely downloads. Then you can open it down here. And if you're on Windows, just drag this whole folder into your program files and leave the executable file inside. If you're on Mac, just drag this executable file into your applications folder right here, or wherever that is, and then just click Beat DJ to open it. Now, once Beat DJ is open, you'll see a screen looks kind of like this. Now you can move, let me make sure my webcam's not too big. Now you can move these elements around. So you can drag these. This is the timeline where the sounds will show up. This is your panning and your live performance monitoring. This is your scale. And then this is the command line interface. So the first thing you want to do is make sure you have some sounds. So if you already have samples, just run the source choose folder command. And you can choose where you want to select your samples from. Once you select the folder and click open, it will automatically reload those samples. If you don't have any sounds yet, if you don't have any sound files like WAV files, what you'll want to do is go grab some sample packs. So just go back to our website, sonyair.net, go to the blog, and find these cheap sample pack options. There's free ones too. Look for this 90 sample CD archive and just download these. These are a bunch of cool samples from the 90s that basically all producers use, and they used to be sold on CDs and passed around, you know, from friend to friend on the CDs back in the day. So they have a bunch of cool stuff. Download all these, put them in one folder, and then run source choose folder like we just did, and choose that folder that they're in. So you can have, like, for example, here's my samples. Where is it? Here's one of my sample folders. So you can see it has just a bunch of waves in it, and it has a whole bunch of just folders full of waves also. So I'll just have the top one selected, and that will load them all in. And anytime you add new sound, you have to reload it. So you have to rerun this source command. So Beat DJ is a command line interface, and you type to control it. So what we're going to do is set our scale first. So I'll do scale play. And then I'm going to do scale R, which means scale random. And I'm just going to flip through. So I'm pushing the up arrow to rerun this command. Push up arrow and then enter. And that scrolls through our previous commands, so I can just keep doing this. I'm looking for a scale that's kind of simple, but not too simple. That's good enough for now. So now I'll do scale stop. And now let's create a techno beat. So I'm going to put my tempo at BPM 135. Just hit enter, and then hit enter again to accept as default transition time. Now let's load up a kick sound. S kick. Not bad. Let's delete that, so I'll just do D to delete. Load up a new sound. delete, delete, delete. Let's find, there we go, there's a good techno kick. Now I want to set the pitch to the tonic frequency down here, so I'll just do mel 0. That drops it down to our tonic frequency, which is down here on the bottom of the scale. This is 0, then 1, 2, 3, and up here is 4. So that sounded pretty good. Let's look for a bass. So I'm doing the S command, and then the S command takes search argument like that, which allows me to search the file paths in my source folder. So I just gotta go through, delete that one off my hard drive, it's too high pitched. Just go through, that's kind of cool. So I'll keep that one. I'm gonna name it to bass, like that. And now let's search for a hi-hat. And I want to keep this video short, so let's see where I'm at. I'm at 6 minutes. So let's wrap this up quick. So we're gonna load up a hat. Now I want to set the loop length to 4, so I'm gonna do length 4. And then I want to put the position of the sound inside there. So we can see the loop length is 4, that's this number here. This number is 0, which is the position. So I'm going to do index, which means the loop index at 2. Now I'm going to load up a clap sound, so I'll do S clap. And it already knew where to put it, but you know what, I don't really like this one. So I'm going to delete it and try again. That's not bad. Now let's find a synth. It's actually pretty cool. I like that, and I want to enhance it a bit more, so I'm going to do a modifier. So I'm going to run mod, and a modifier is just like an effect script you can run. So I want to mix this with maybe a Reese bass. So I'm going to add a Reese bass blend, and then I'm going to do like 6. Actually, I'm going to do, yeah, I'll do 6. So it's like a 6 out of 9 percentage of how much is going to mix with that sound. That's pretty cool. So I'm going to shift it back by 12. So you can see the loop index here was at 14, and the loop length is at 18. So it's actually a polymeter. But what I did is I shifted it back by 12, so now it's at 2. And that just, if I hit play and go to the beginning of the track, you can see that just moves it from, you know, over here back to here. So it changes the position that it starts inside the loop. Now it's a polymeter because it's a length 18, so it's going to be really interesting in our song, but it could get confusing or chaotic. So since the rest of our track is so simple, it works in this case, and it will provide a lot of interest, rhythmic interest. Now I like how the Reese bass mixed in, but I don't like that it's a little bit too high pitched still. So I'm going to bake this. So the bake will basically cook in the modifiers that we applied and make them not get reapplied over and over every time we make a change. So now I'm going to do melody shift -3. So it's just going to drop the pitches down in our scale by 3. So it was, if I do undo, you can see it was at these indexes. So I did print mel, so I print the melody out, and it was at 3, 2, 3, 1, 1. Now I'm going to do melody shift and bring it down. You can see that goes down. Let's see how this sounds. Okay, that's cool, but our scale is too happy for techno, so I'm going to do scale random again, and I'm going to do scale play. So we're just getting random microtonal scales. That one might be good better. So let's do scale stop, and then I'm going to do 4 melody shift up 1 and see how this sounds. let's add another mod and we'll do distortion. So I'm going to do distortion medium 9. So that means maximum. I think that's still too light. Let's see. It's not bad. Let's bake that. And I'm actually going to put the loop length to 8 and see how this sounds. What if we do 6? Cool. So I like that right there. Now I'm going to do S crash. Just get a crash sound. Now let's apply some effects. So we have this crash. I'm going to put the crash onto an effects rack. So I can do that by saying the track number in front. Now with all these commands I've been doing, you typically, if you modify the sound, you want to put the track number in front. So you would do like 5 mod, 5 delete, 5 undo, etc. So you always put the track number in front. But you don't have to if this number here is the track number you're working on. So this is your default selection. So since that has always kind of been what I'm working on, I haven't had to do that very much. But in this case, I'm just doing it to show you. So I'll do 5 rack 1. So there's 6 effects racks, 0 through 5, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I applied it to rack 1. So I put the crash onto the effects rack 1. You can see this number changed to R1. Now if I run FX, I'll choose which rack do I want to apply effects to. I'll do rack 1. Now I'm going to apply some reverb. So I'll do REV, and then I'll select a preset. So I'm going to do the parking garage preset. I love this one. And then do transition time of 0. Then we'll do effects 1 again, but I'm going to add some echo. So I'll do echo. And I'll just add a dotted 8th note delay here, 3/16 notes, and then just accept these defaults here by clicking enter. Pretty cool. Let's add maybe a little stutter in the kick drum. So I'm going to bundle the kick drum to 64. So right now the kick is basically there's only one kick and it's playing every 4 beats. I'm going to bundle it so that there's a group that is of length 64. So now we have 16 kick drums all bundled into a group here. And now I can do print duration, DUR, and that's going to print out the durations. Now I just want to do, at the last one here, I want to do 2/8 notes like that, instead of a quarter note. And then let me just do fit length to make sure that worked. So it got a little bit out of sync there. You can just run fit length and it will snap the loop length to the sound duration. So that's what just happened there. Let's see how this sounds. There you go. There's your first beat in Beat DJ. Super simple. Stick around for more complex stuff in other videos. Also, I'm teaching a course on this stuff, so if you want to dive deeper into it, just check out the link in the description, and you'll learn everything about how to make techno, how to make IDM, how every single command works in Beat DJ, and pretty much everything I know about music. And I've been making music for 20 years, so check it out, and if you're interested, just jump in whenever you're ready. Thanks guys, I'll see you.